Days of Fright Horror Movie Project, Year 4.
Welcome to the 210 Nerds. As always, my name is Max James. It's October 5th, 2015, which means it's day 5 of the 31 Days of Fright Horror Movie Project, Year 4, and today's movie is The Curse of Chucky. Now, before I kind of dive into telling you what you need to know about this movie, I do have to say that up to this point, my personal favorite was Bride of Chucky, and was also the intended movie for today. But after realizing it was on Netflix, it became today's movie, and as well as my new personal favorite. And just because this movie did a lot of things well, and it brought back some elements from the movies that I have not seen in a while, and it became more horror than comedic, like Bride and Seed of Chucky had become. So I'm just going to dive into telling you what you need to know about this movie, and first up is that our main character is in a wheelchair. So they're living in this big house, just her and her mom, who is having her own problems, mental-wise. And so, which we learn, which is justifiably so, why the way she is. And also we learn why the girl is in a wheelchair as well. So, a mystery package shows up. We all know what it is. It's not that hard to, because it's in the shape of a good guy doll box. And when they open it, it's Chucky. Shocker. But Chucky is clean. He has no scarring. He looks like he's fresh, like he just rolled out of the factory. And so, in which, in turns, the mom ends up committing suicide, which brings in the other sister, her husband, their daughter, and a nanny, and a priest as well. So, at the beginning of the movie is kind of slow. The sister is kind of demeaning to the sister, the one in the wheelchair. It's like, you can't do this by yourself. You can't be living by yourself because she has a heart condition. And it's just, things are just, the sister is just not believing in our main character at all. And so it's like, you know what, I'm going to cook supper for everyone. So they do, and that's where Chucky kind of starts to kind of intervene. He dumps rat poison in the chili, which adds a great moment of who's going to get it first, who's going to die first, because they purposely show what the rat poison looks like in the chili within the cheese, but when they start editing it in, you don't really see it because the bowls are like half eaten, so everything's kind of mixed in. You can't really tell, and there's some great misdirection in there. It's like one of them's like, "Oh, my stomach," and I'm like, "I don't feel good. This tastes funny." It's like, "Oh no," and eventually it reveals who got the bowl. So, which also adds some great gore there towards the end for their scene as well. And there is just, this movie was really good. It was just very creepy. The scare factor of the movie is just just normal child's play stuff. You know, him kind of sneaking around, and the gore is just stabbing and an eyeball and stuff like that. Just normal low-key gore stuff, but it's very effective stuff. But there's a cringe-worthy moment that I have to mention, because she is in a wheelchair, obviously, so which also adds a nice element of evening the playing field between our main character and our villain. Because Chucky is very limited on what he can do, and which limits our main character. So she's a paraplegic, so she can't feel nothing from the waist down. Chucky gets the upper hand with an axe, so and death is certain. All she does is pulls her wheelchair up, wheelies her wheelchair, puts her legs up forward, and so the axe gets dug right into her shin. And oh my god, that is very cringeworthy to me. Oh man, that was just like, I actually looked away. I don't normally do that, but man, that was tough. But this movie's plot also makes the Charles Lee Ray character more creepy, adds depth to this world of the Child's Play franchise, and this movie does a lot very well. It adds depth to characters that were very one-sided, and then adds adds some great characters to this new universe. And we also see some returning characters, and it's just really good. This overall movie was really good. I highly recommend this movie. Now, for my rating, which is 1 is being run-of-the-mill horror, 2 best watched with a group, 3 more than average horror, but adds nothing new to the horror genre, 4 helps move the horror genre forward, and 5 being a horror classic. Now, this is kind of tough because I'm not quite sure how to rate this movie, but I'm going to do a 3.5 because it's more than average horror, because it brings back... The reason why it's a 3.5 is because it does so many things well. It takes a character that has been more comedic than horror, gives him his creep factor back. It adds depth to the character and the universe it's set in. It makes everything just connect really well, and it has throwbacks to the previous films. It does everything well, and it makes Chucky a force to be reckoned with again. So it doesn't really help move the horror genre forward in a way, because it's a reboot, but it kind of goes back to its roots, to its horror roots, which I enjoy. And then 3, it's just more than average because it does have some good scare factors. It does have that cringe-worthy moment. It has some good deaths. So it's just good. And plus, the acting from Brad Dourif, it was amazing. And his daughter, his real-life daughter, is the main character in the wheelchair, which is awesome as well. So they're acting against one another and fighting against. So that's really good. This movie is just fantastic. I cannot get enough of this movie. And I know this review is a little longer than most because I actually wanted to talk about this movie a lot. So that's all I gotta say. My name is Max James. I highly recommend this movie, and I'm going to go geek out.